somebody on YouTube. I have just watched now a very well-spoken gentleman who speaks very good English, because we are also supposed to speak good English to impress, not to impress, but to be effective in the world in which we are. Sometimes to impress, yes, and and when we do it to impress, it's very bad. But if you are natural about it, it is acceptable, at least to me, at least to me, who does not speak the most highfalutin English and stuff like that. But when I write, I try to select my words well, phraseology very well, and all that. But when I speak, I just speak from the heart, and that's it. Or this person says, and I've watched him several times, and if he could watch my video, it will also help him and some of his friends, that Julius Malema claims to be a Marxist. I didn't know that part because I never think about things like Marxism and all that things, those foreign things that belong to dead worlds, and he's a Marxist. So if he's a Marxist, why is he not like Joe Slovo? And Joe Slovo is buried at Avalon in a tomato box. Well, he said tomato box clearly as I watched him say it, because he had no appropriate ex- explanation as to what kind of box was Joe Slovo put into to be entombed. Now, I say to myself, my goodness, how we waste time in this tie. How we waste time in this tie. We waste so much time talking about Marxism, socialism, all rubbishes of the world. Religion, I'm just astounded as how many religions have caused problems all over the world. And and we keep on talking about Marxism, socialism, and this one called democracy. I think this kind of last born of that family. Oh my goodness. And democracy. Wait a minute now, democracy. Now listen, this fellow talks about this, and then my mind goes back to saying, to another video that I watched that talks about education, how education wastes people's minds with textbooks, certifications, and all that. And I have young grandchildren. I'm not going to tell them that education is very useless until we find other models. In less than 10 years, AI will be educating people, and people will never need to go to any classroom. I bet you AI will be all over the show, and it will take over those certificates and diplomas and degrees. You will forget about those because times are changing so fast. But people are stuck in politics and in religion. Some of my friends say, I'm still alive by the grace of God. Whew, my heart sinks. And I've done that video already about the grace, and my heart sinks, and some people feel uneducated and so. But now look at Ujamaa as it was propagated by Julius Nyerere. Propagated not because it was of his own doing, and he didn't study it from any college or university. Familyhood, it simply means familyhood. And when you unleash familyhood concepts onto people, just like you do, I mean, like some religions like Islam and Hinduism and so on, don't even have to unleash it. They have to leave it for familyhood. And everything that resembles familyhood on the side of Africans has disappeared. That's why we are hankering after education, and we always want to feel small because we are not educated, and you need education to get a job. You need to be a politician to get favors. Not even a politician, you need to follow a political party to get favors. And Ujamaa cancels all that. And today you cannot keep on telling our people about Marxism. Some of these so-called Marxists were Asian provocateurs, and it is known some of them who also inspired the likes of Julius Malema were known to be working for all sides and causing chaos and being paid for it. And some parties had to keep them so that they don't reveal some of the deeper issues that dwelled in those parties and are dangerous, and they had to keep them. And some of them even became youth leaders because people could not just get, they knew so much that people could not get rid of them. You know, I wish people can live on that. If you know so much, people cannot live without you. In real sense, not in politics, not in education, in real sense that Ujamaa sells to us. Not sell, I keep on using, I'm fallible, I use wrong words sometimes. I'm saying is given to us, given back to us, because it has always been about us. It is in us. It is in our genes. It is in our genes from our ancestors, from the beginnings of the earth, because everything evolved out of Africa, out of this continent. Ujamaa. And people are jumping it, wanting to form political parties, going to knock their heads together in some conferences and begin to think about ideology, whatnot. I mean, we were never brought to this point by ideology as a people. We were not brought to this point by religion as a people. Let us go back, man, and be very fundamental about it. Go back to who we are. And I'm talking about people who are still trying to tell us about political parties and how expensive they are and so on. Now, you tell me which university teaches Ujamaa today? It didn't, because people are always thieves when they become politicians, even when they take over from some of the solid people like Nyerere. They go back to these things called democracy, Marxism, socialism, and so on, for their pockets, for their back pocket, nothing else but for their back pocket. And if anybody is genuine, and if any party can arise out of especially this country, wait a minute, if you have to look at the PAC, study the PAC and what it stood for, Azapo, study it and what it stood for, just to mention a few, and what it stood for. But don't be stuck in there as though everything will ever, because it has been proven that the parties of the thieves always beat you at elections. The parties of those who pocket more money, giving more money. So it's time you become genuine, you become yourself. You go back to the fundamentals of Africanism, of who you are, and and stop looking for money and all that, and even threatening that if you don't succeed, if you are stopped somehow, you will go to exile in Botswana or something. And I'm saying to you, now somebody is purposely disturbing me here. I must stop this now. Kuzwa, Kuzwa.